Welcome to another chilling tale. If you're a fan of scary stories and aren't afraid to face the unknown, leave a like now, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell so you don't miss any of our videos. And of course, share your thoughts in the comments. Look, I don't even know where to start. This might sound ridiculous to you, but I swear on my life that everything I'm about to tell you really happened. I bought that vintage radio at a thrift shop downtown. You know those old things you're not even sure work, but you buy them because they look cool? That was it. The radio was grimy, a bit dented, but I thought it'd make a nice decoration. It was dirt cheap, like 20 reais, and the shop owner seemed almost eager to get rid of it. I took it home, cleaned it up, put it in a corner of the living room, and forgot about it. It didn't even have a power cord. But a few weeks later, I started noticing weird noises, especially at night. Living alone, I got a bit paranoid, thinking it was just in my head or something from the building. But by the fourth night, it was impossible to ignore. The sound was coming from the radio. It was a low static, like white noise. The weirdest part? It wasn't plugged into anything. First, it was just faint noises. I even joked to myself, calling it the living room ghost. But then came the whispers. At first, I thought it was interference, maybe a neighbor with a radio or a TV on. But when I turned the volume knob just slightly, yes, the knob worked, even without power, I heard it clearly. It was a deep, almost monotone voice. I couldn't understand what it was saying at first, but there was a strange rhythm to it, like it was narrating something. On the second night, the voice started making sense. I remember every word because I was frozen in place. Vaz Lobo Street, number 42. A woman, 34 years old. She's being stabbed in the kitchen while you listen. I froze. The description was so specific. I grabbed my phone and Googled the address. It was on the other side of the city. I thought about calling the police, but who would believe me? The next day, to my utter disbelief, I saw it in the local news. A woman was murdered on Vaz Lobo Street, number 42, in her kitchen. The time matched exactly when I'd heard the broadcast. I should have thrown that radio out, but my curiosity got the better of me. I wanted to understand what was happening. The next night, I sat in the living room, lights off, waiting for the next program, and it started. Gas station on Central Avenue. A man, 45 years old. He's being shot in the head by a masked robber. My heart raced. I looked up the address on my phone, and the next day, there it was in the news. Exactly as the radio had described. It was as if the radio was some sort of dark prophet. It narrated crimes in real time. But last night was different. Again, I sat on the couch to listen. The radio began with the same monotone voice, but this time, the description was disturbingly close. Jasmine Street, number 105. A man, 29 years old, alone at home. He's sitting on the couch. The bedroom door is open. A man with a knife is in the hallway, slowly approaching. I live on Jasmine Street, number 105, and I'm 29 years old. I dropped the radio on the floor, paralyzed. The worst part? The narration continued, as if it were describing a scene from a movie. He's standing in the doorway to the living room, watching. He's waiting for you to look. That's when I heard the footsteps. Not from the recording, real footsteps in my hallway. Light, deliberate steps. My mind screamed at me to run, but my body wouldn't move. Slowly, I turned my head toward the hallway. There was nothing, until the lamp flickered and revealed a silhouette. It was a man, tall, with eyes locked on me and a knife in his hand. He took a step forward, and instinctively, I grabbed the radio and threw it at him. The shrill sound of glass shattering filled the room, and the figure vanished. He didn't run away. He just ceased to exist as if he had never been there. The radio, now in pieces on the floor, let out one final burst of static, almost like a sigh. I stayed awake all night with every light in the house on, and I haven't been able to sleep since. Please, if you ever come across something strange in a thrift shop, don't take it home, no matter how harmless it seems. I know the radio is gone, but I still feel like I'm being watched, like the story isn't over yet. I'm a naturally curious person. Always have been. So when I saw that viral app on TikTok, Connection to the Unknown, I couldn't resist. The concept was simple. Download the app, grant it access to your location, and it generates random coordinates for you to explore. It was like a modern treasure hunt. I'd seen hundreds of videos of people finding weird but harmless things. Old objects, bizarre graffiti, hidden messages. It was just for fun. Or so I thought. I downloaded the app on a Friday night. I was bored and thought, why not? The first set of coordinates took me to an abandoned park. Everything was silent, and the only thing I found was a broken doll near a rusted swing. The second location led me to an old bridge, where someone had painted the words, "Don't seek what you don't want to find." I figured it was just an elaborate prank by some app user. But the third location, that was different. It was a clearing in the middle of some woods about 10 minutes from my house. Strange, but close enough. I grabbed a flashlight, since the sun was setting, and headed out. The path was narrow, surrounded by tall trees that muffled any sound from the city. When I reached the clearing, a chill ran down my spine. The air felt heavier there. In the center of the clearing was a black rotary phone, the kind my grandmother used to have. The phone was ringing. I laughed nervously. This has to be a joke, I thought. Who would leave a phone like that here? And how could it even be ringing in the middle of nowhere? Against all common sense, I walked closer and picked it up. Before I could say anything, a deep voice spoke on the other end. "You shouldn't be here." My blood ran cold. The call disconnected, and the phone went silent. Not even a dial tone, as if it had never worked in the first place. The app vibrated in my pocket. With trembling hands, I pulled out my phone. A notification appeared on the screen. "Welcome to the game. Your next coordinate is ready." Game? That wasn't part of the description. The rules never mentioned anything beyond exploring and sharing what you found. Something was off. I ignored the notification and ran back home. The black phone stayed in the clearing, and I promised myself I'd never use the app again. But that night, my phone vibrated again. The same notification appeared. "Your next coordinate is ready. You have until midnight." The clock read 11:23 p.m. I decided to ignore it, turned off my phone, and went to bed. But at 11:59 p.m., an alarm went off in my room. It was the app's ringtone, even though my phone was turned off. On the screen was a message. "You can't leave the game." The next day, I woke up exhausted, with the uneasy feeling that something was wrong. The app was still running, even after I tried to uninstall it. It kept sending me random notifications throughout the day. Sometimes they were cryptic messages, other times short audio clips with eerie noises, footsteps, heavy breathing, muffled screams. Yesterday, I got another set of coordinates. This time, it pointed to my own house. I didn't go. I stayed up all night, listening to noises in the hallway. Through my security camera, I saw shadows moving past my door, but when I looked through the peephole, there was nothing there. This morning, I received one final message. "Don't ignore the next call." Now I'm here writing this. My phone won't stop vibrating on the table. The number on the screen is 00000000000. I don't want to answer, but it won't stop ringing. If you ever come across this app, don't download it. No matter how harmless it seems, because once you start the game, it doesn't end.